Hello and welcome back to Mull It Over. On day 1 of Forged in the Barrens release, Miracle Rogue was one of the most popular archetypes and remains so to this day. It's easy to see why. The discounts from Efficient Octobot combined with the consistent card draw engine make the deck blisteringly fast. Even though watch posts haven't seen much play in GM since the nerfs, aside from Surrender's secondary list, 2 different variants of the deck still exist. The one running Field Contacts with a heavier 2-cost minion package, and the one that runs Secrets plus Shadow Jeweler Hanar, Sparkjoy Cheat, and Blacktrack Stunner. And then I guess we have Eddie's primary too, which has a bit of both. No matter which version though, the deck relies on the same set of legendary minions for relevant board presence and late game burst. Of those, Mankrik and Kazakus are very often kept unless facing hyper-aggressive decks, and Efficient Octobot is pretty much an auto-keep. This type of opener is ideal for Surrender, even picking up the far watch post for disruption against OTK Demon Hunter. He gets to go coin the watch post, into Octobot, into Mankrik, and from 4 mana onward, Field Contact gets insane value if the Octobot goes off. It's not quite so straightforward for his hand versus Rush Warrior though, because Surrender doesn't have good mid-game cards to discount. Still, he coins out the Octobot on turn 1, because of its potential to discourage an empty board Parade Leader from Alutemu. Alutemu, with no possible one-shot kill on the Octobot on 2 mana, uses Rakara to guarantee that Surrender gets discounts on no more than 4 cards. Even less straightforward is when you have neither Og Merchant nor Prize Plunderer to proc the Octobot, and Alutemu in the mid-game is very likely able to one-shot it. Surrender decides to go for rank 1 Wicked Stab on his own Octobot, a very low tempo play, in order to set up for his next turn. A huge board swing using all his cheapened cards into drawing Prize Plunderer and the tertiary tech card Animated Broomstick to pull him back into a winning position. We can't always hit the Octobot plus Mankrik starts though, and resident rogue expert Casey shows us what a decent hand without those cards looks like when he faces Letta. It's plain to see that Casey wants early board presence from the Foxy Fraud, also noting that the Wand Thief has the chance to give him Devolving Missiles, which can be a win condition in and of itself versus Miracle Priest. Prize Plunderer is also handy to have on coin, as an easy way to deal with Sethek Veilweaver or even Nazmani Bloodweaver. As for the secret version, Dirty Tricks is a keep against spell-heavy decks like Priest to get your early card draw going, especially when your opponent is on coin. And once again, Octobot on curve on an empty board is great, because even Holy Smite can't take it down in one hit. However, in Game 2 of this same series, Eddie elects to start with Ambush instead of Octobot, even if it could likely be procced by a trade on Frozen's Wandmaker on turn 3. That's because Frozen coined the Wandmaker on turn 1, indicating that he has another 2-drop to follow up, and Sethek Veilweaver would be a prime target for the Ambush minion. On top of that, Octobot being saved until you can discount burst pieces such as Alexstrasza, Tenmu, and Wicked Stab is a very common strategy to close this matchup in the late game. In Luna's case, her draw engine relies almost entirely on Sparkjoy Cheat and Dirty Tricks, so keeping Tricks versus No Hands Gamer on Spellmage was essential. It didn't quite get there in Game 1, but in Game 2 she gets the powerful combination of Shadow Jeweler Hanar, a Secret, and Cult Neophyte. A Hanar on curve only gets answered by Devolving Missiles or Coin Combustion. Not to mention, No Hands would rather play Incanter's Flow if possible, so Luna gets great value from the secrets. The Cult Neophyte is the cherry on top. Against Mage, you'd rather not play it on curve if you have other options, but rather to protect a board that's already developed. It's especially good here because Luna knows No Hands has still held on to the coin. In her Game 3 versus Dreadeye's Weapon Rogue, Luna keeps double Cult Neophyte, but again shows restraint with her timing. On turn 1, she has the option to coin Neophyte into turn 2 Neophyte again, into turn 3 Mankrik for a solid curve. However, this doesn't deny anything Dreadeye necessarily wants to do, as his curve is very likely Dagger on turn 2 into Self-Sharpening Sword or Swinetusk Shank on turn 3. So Luna holds. With the draw of Ogremaster, Luna's plan becomes clear. She doesn't actually need both Neophytes for disruption, especially with a Shadow Step in hand, so she plays one down on turn 2 for board presence. On turn 3, Now that she's seen Dreadeye equip a weapon, she not only plays Mankrik, but steps her first Neophyte in order to strand as many spells in Dreadeye's hand as possible prior to her Ogremancer turn. Had Dreadeye already gotten his weapon up to 4 or 5 attack that turn, the Ogremancer would have been far less threatening. But with the effect of the Neophyte, TJ's absolutely right when he says,
"Coin Ogremancer and you can call this one done."
Miracle Rogue is a very difficult deck to pilot, and it wasn't that popular in Specialist last week. But maybe that'll change with the secret build and also Surrender's sick tertiary tech cards seeing some success. But who knows what the post-Orgrimmar meta will bring. Catch you next time on Mull It Over.